Good evening. Glad you could join us here on News Tonight on TV 47, this second last day of the month of March 2021. My name is Musa Salah. We have a lot lined up for you, but first, the top stories making headlines tonight.
Tonight, the second batch of COVID-19 vaccines may be late to arrive on time, even as the government confirms the availability of the Russian jab that is being administered by private healthcare providers. Also tonight, police question a foreigner whose drone landed in Deputy President William Ruto's residence in Karen. Plus, the BBI secretariat insists the BBI is well on course, even as reports say the BBI office has been moved to the office of the Permanent Secretary for Interior. And tonight we tell you why men are not only susceptible to COVID-19 infections, but also die more from the disease than women.
Welcome to the broadcast. Anu Irimu is our sign language interpreter. News Tonight begins right now. An invigilator from an examination center in Migori County has been arrested for sharing some of the examination materials that were exposed before the scheduled time. At the same time, 6 schools from Nyamira and Mandera counties are being investigated for attempted cheating in the national examinations.
In the first week since Form 4 candidates of the class of 2020 began their national examinations, already there are reports of examination malpractices taking place in some centers. The plans to cheat in the KCSE were intercepted early, and now an invigilator from Migori has been arrested.
The invigilator is now in the custody of the Kenyan police officers and will be arraigned in court to face criminal charges. In the meantime, gallant police are stepping up their investigations to trace the chain of people that are connected to this ring.
Some schools are currently being investigated.
We are monitoring 3 schools very closely in Nyamira, and we are monitoring 3 schools very, very closely in Banisa, and that nobody should ever imagine that in this day you are going to do what you used to do 20 years ago.
We realize that a bit of problem arises from the deputy center managers, the deputy principals. We are encouraging the principals to take charge so that the deputy center managers who are in some of those schools which we have picked out do not play any monkey business with the exams.
The government has assured the public that those plotting to cheat in the KCSE will not succeed in their plans.
And professional examination officials managed to expose examination a little earlier than the scheduled time, once the papers leave the safety of the containers. The questions are then shared to the targeted so-called university candidates just before the examination commences. As we promised, the long arm of our security system will always catch up with such unscrupulous people who think they can breach our watertight security measures.
Magoha was also in Machakos County, where he dismissed National Youth Service men and women who had turned up at a container to help in transporting the examination materials. The CS said the exams will only be manned by police officers. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Now, Deputy President William Ruto and his family have this evening received the COVID-19 vaccine, assuring Kenyans of its safety. This as the Ministry of Health announced possible delays of the second batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to the decision by the Indian government to halt all international supplies of the vaccine in order to focus on its domestic demands only. Zainab Mohammed has the details.
Close to 2 months since the onset of the COVID-19 vaccination exercise, more and more fear seems to continue to surround the exercise, with the Ministry of Health now saying the administration of the second dose of the vaccine in May may be negatively impacted as a result of the decision by the government of India to halt all international supplies in order to concentrate on domestic demands only.
So far, we were expecting that by May we will be receiving some additional vaccines somewhere between April or May, but we've just gotten the communication from Gotv saying that there may be a delay because of the decision by the Indian government to basically stop the exportation of the vaccine and focus on their own domestic market.
The ministry further warning that the expiry date of the first batch of AstraZeneca vaccines is fast approaching, and should the vaccines expire before use, the COVAX facility may reduce the country's allocations.
The vaccine, the stocks that we have, the 2 batches we received, they expire in June 2021, and because of the demand that has been created, we are confident that the vaccines will not expire now. But this is something that we are really alive to, because if we allow any vaccine to expire on us, then automatically Gotv through the COVAX platform will reduce our allocation further.
This even as the Embassy of Russia confirms the arrival and use of the Sputnik vaccine in Kenya, some Kenyans taking the opportunity to announce that they have received the first jab of the Russian-based COVID-19 vaccine. However, through a statement to newsrooms, the Pharmaceutical Society of Kenya has condemned the unauthorized marketing of COVID-19 vaccine on social media, saying all COVID-19 vaccines approved for use in Kenya have been authorized under emergency use only.
As a ministry, we have been moving very, very slowly in that space in terms of even approval of the vaccines. Even though Sputnik is in the country, not a single person has received that Sputnik vaccine.
More than 130,000 people have been vaccinated so far, including the Deputy President William Ruto and his family. Ruto, whilst receiving the vaccine Tuesday evening, has assured Kenyans of its safety, urging all to go for the jab. Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Now, still matters on COVID-19. As the third wave of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to strike, statistics show that the virus has been prevalent more among men than women, with men forming 62% of collective infections, while women form 32%. While it remains scientifically unclear why that is the case, other factors such as disregard to COVID-19 measures by most men than women have been touted to be behind the rise in COVID-19 infections among men. But have men really dropped the guard, while women, on the other hand, continue to adhere to the measures, thus keeping the virus at bay among them? Our reporter David Mudoka tells us more.
It is a Tuesday midday like any other at Kibra slums, Nairobi. Here residents are going about their business as usual, but something is literally amiss among most of the men we come across. If it is not a face mask, it definitely is lack of social distancing. Not even a sign of a mask is on any of the men who pass by. It is neither on their chin nor in their hands. But on the other hand, most of the women we bump into have donned their face masks, clearly not bowing to the pressure around. The contrast is palpable, yet no one is alarmed. Such are the scenes that have continued to be witnessed in most parts of the country in the past few weeks, just before President Uhuru Kenyatta reissued a ban on political gatherings, the disregard of COVID-19 measures in political rallies, most of which are male-dominated, characterized both ends of the podium. This saw the rallies become super spreaders of the coronavirus and ultimately led to the outbreak of the third wave of COVID-19. But does the defiance have everything to do with the prevalence of COVID-19 infections among more men than women? According to Health Director General Patrick Amoth, since the country recorded its patient zero, 62% of all confirmed COVID-19 cases have been male, while 38% of the people who have tested positive to the virus are women. Lately, between March 15th and March 30th, 9,505 men tested positive for the virus compared to 8,300 women. In that span of just 2 weeks, on 2 occasions only did the number of women who had contracted COVID-19 per day soar higher than that of men. Tuesday was not any different. Out of the 1,530 confirmed COVID-19 cases for the past 24 hours, 842 were men, while 688 were women from a sample size of 8,010 tests. This brings the total number of infections to 132,646, while the number of cumulative tests conducted 1 year on is 1,480,250. 129 people are reported to have recovered from the virus in the past 24 hours, while 12 lost the battle to COVID-19. For the umpteenth time, Nairobi emerged top among counties with the most infections with 686 cases. Nakuru follows with 164, Kiambu 151, Kitui 68, and Nyeri 57.
In a situation where it takes two to tango, men have visibly been missing in action, proving to be the weakest link in the fight to keep COVID-19 at bay. David Mudhoka, TV47 at Kibra Slums, Nairobi.
Well, that scary report by David Mudhoka takes us to a short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Remember, you can follow this live broadcast on www.tv47.co.ke.
You are watching TV47, the home of Untold Stories.
Tamasha Paints, rangi ambayo imeimarika, rangi ya kipekee. Tamasha Paints ni kampuni ya kimataifa ya kuuza aina zozote za rangi ambazo zimechanganywa na teknolojia ya kisasa. Tunakuletea rangi aina ya cover matte, silk vinyl, vinyl matte, weather guard, super gloss na high gloss. Pia tuna mafunzo ya kutengeneza rangi zilizopita mafunzo ya kimataifa. Tunafunza kutoka mwanzo hadi mwisho kwa muda wa miezi miwili. Shule yetu ina vyumba vya malazi kwa malipo ya shilingi 40 pekee. Tunapatia wanafunzi wetu cheti inayotambulika kote nchini, kuwatafutia attachment na kuwapatia kazi wanapomaliza masomo. Tunakuuzia mashini ya kutengeneza rangi na kemikali za hali ya juu kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi tutembelee Kangundo Road, Choka area karibu na stage ya Hurlingham, ama uwasiliane nasi kupitia 0712 222 893. Rangi si rangi, rangi ni Tamasha Paints.
Owning a house on Kiambu Road has never been this affordable. From as low as 2.65 million, get yourself an apartment with high internet connectivity, ample parking, swimming pool and round-the-clock security. Located behind Quickmart Supermarket in Tendegwa, the Green Zone Phase 2 is the place for you. Contact us today by texting Green Zone to 21404 or call 0738 883 388. Hyso Properties, a culture of trust.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
TV47, the fastest growing television in the country, is inviting all our advertisers to stand with the country by showcasing their COVID support and Easter special offers at very special advertising rates. Get in touch with our sales team for your tailored April package on 0712 047 047. Stay safe. TV47 cares. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. Challenges are what makes life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful, and that is why the Morning Cafe and Ngong Hills Hotel are here to make your Easter a holiday to remember. This coming Friday, we will be live at the Ngong Hills Hotel from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with great uplifting music from Pitson and the band. This show is proudly sponsored by Ngong Hills Hotel, Mizizi Africa Homes Limited, and Zawadi Band. You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight here on TV47. Now, the Senate Standing Committee on Health recommended the prosecution of suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari and 5 others over the KEMSA scandal. The committee, in its report, further recommended the investigation of companies that were awarded tenders by KEMSA as the probe continues.
The Senate's Health Committee has concluded its investigations into the KEMSA scandal with a conclusion that suspended KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari and 5 other officials be investigated over alleged procurement irregularities. In their report, the committee accuses Manjari of masterminding a 7.6 billion shilling scandal on the procurement of COVID-19 medical equipment. Manjari's co-accused include Charles Juma, Director Procurement, Eliud Murithi, Director Commercial Services, Frederick Wanyonyi, Director Legal Services, Edward Njoroge Njuguna, Director of Operations, and Waiganjo Karanja, Director Finance and Strategy. The Senate Committee has also recommended that the Office of the DPP and DCI investigate the CEO KEMSA and the Board of Management of KEMSA for contravening several provisions. That the Office of the DPP and DCI investigate the companies that were awarded tenders by KEMSA to determine if there was any collusion between KEMSA and the directors of the companies in contravening of the PPADA and the PFMA and the debarment of any company found liable. The State Corporation Advisory Committee undertake an audit into the conduct of the Board of Directors of KEMSA and the Board of Management of KEMSA in accordance with Section 27 of the State Corporations Act and make recommendations to the President and the CS4 Ministry of Health. An audit be undertaken of the existing reporting structures, financial disclosure mechanisms and internal audit processes in KEMSA, a review of existing regulations to provide for an elaborate framework for the conduct by procuring entities, among other recommendations. Meanwhile, the National Assembly's Public Investments Committee investigating the KEMSA scandal continued to grill some of the officials at KEMSA Tuesday.
Who were signatories to payments of goods and services provided to KEMSA?
The signatories to the payment?
Yes.
It was the CEO and one other category B signatory, of which it could be me or one other signatory.
Who is the other?
That time the other was the commercial director.
Who is Eliud Murithi?
Nobody is yet to be charged over the loss of billions of shillings at KEMSA. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Thank you, Daniel. Now, the BBI Secretariat co-chair Junet Mohammed has dismissed as rumors allegations of possible divisions between the BBI principals Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta. Junet has also refuted claims that the office of the BBI Secretariat has been moved to the Interior Ministry. The Suna East Member of Parliament also took a swipe at NASA principals, accusing them of staging plans to divide the handshake principles.
Secretariat bado yuko ofisi yake, hata leo nilikuwa kama co-chair. The Secretariat is operating and functioning very well. Number one. And secondly, don't push ODM out of BBI by force. There are forces who have, small boys who have come to town now, who really want to push ODM out of BBI. I don't know for what reason.
It's a statement by the BBI co-chair Junet Mohammed dismissing reports of moving the BBI secretariat offices to the Ministry of Interior. Junet further dismissing any possible rifts between the two BBI principals and the handshake which the Suna East MP says is still stable.
Kama fisi ambayo wanangoja, wanatembea nyuma ya handshake na BBI, wanafikiri mkono itaanguka. Watangoja paka dunia iishe. Hakuna siku tutawachana na BBI, na hakuna siku tutawachana na handshake, na hakuna siku tutawachana na agenda ya kuunganisha wa Kenya.
This comes as divisions are witnessed in the NASA Brigade and the ODM party of the BBI report as new alliances take shape. The National Assembly Minority Chief Whip is accusing the NASA principals of trying to cripple the handshake.
Wataachana na BBI. We want to tell ODM that BBI is not your document. Sasa hivi BBI ni document ya Wakenya wote. Kama nyinyi mnataka kuachana na BBI, nyinyi wachaneni nayo. Sasa hiyo document iko kwa mikono ya Wakenya, and we shall take it to the greater heights yenye nafaa iende kule.
ODM is one of the parties that have huge stake in the BBI as a party. How do you walk out of your own agenda? How do you walk out on your own, constitutional amendment bill? I represent ODM as a co-chair in the secretariat. Have I resigned from the secretariat? No.
Further, the Joint Justice and Legal Affairs Committee is on spot for allegedly working in secrecy and without pointing out its timelines. However, Junet Mohammed says the BBI reggae is still on.
So I expect them to make their own decision, which is based on justice. So the BBI is on course. Reggae is on course. And I can tell you, latest by July, God willing, we are going to have a referendum in Kenya.
Nonetheless, skepticism is growing even among ODM party top officials, with some already having resigned to fate that a referendum is not feasible this year.
With many hurdles facing the BBI process, the current one is the NASA ODM rivalry, which is threatening to derail the whole process. Elizabeth Motuko, TV47 Palm Buildings, Nairobi.
Now, the adjournment of Parliament for the next 1 month will affect the House business a great deal and alter Parliament's calendar for the remainder of the year. Some of the things expected to be affected by this unprecedented recess is the BBI Constitution Amendment Bill and the budget-making process that is already in progress.
Following President Uhuru Kenyatta's advice to the speakers of the National Assembly and Senate to suspend ordinary parliament sittings amid a sharp surge of COVID-19 infections in the country, the bicameral house has moved in to effect the directive. Both houses will be adjourned for more than a month, with the Senate suspending its sittings up to 11th of May. The National Assembly is expected to adjourn until the 29th of April. Throughout this period when both houses will be adjourned, members of different parliamentary committees will be meeting, albeit virtually, to proceed with house businesses. The referendum drumbeats have been paused indefinitely, with the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill of 2020 put on hold until the houses resume plenary sittings.
Indomitable member for Endebess.
The referendum that had been projected to take place in June will be halted as both houses have to debate the report of the Joint Justices and Legal Affairs Committee before the bill goes to the next step. The budget-making process, which is ostensibly in its advanced stage, will indubitably be affected by the closure of these houses. With the suspension of cabinet and parliament sittings, the government's calendar will be altered till the COVID-19 third wave curve is flattened. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
3 men were this evening arrested and a cache of weapons recovered from them in a police operation in Lagdera, Garissa County. The 3 were transporting 8 AK-47 rifles, 2,104 rounds of ammunition and 20 liters of petrol to an unknown destination when they were intercepted. Police termed the recovery a win in the war against terror. The police also confirmed the weapons are not Kenyan because they have not been registered in the country. The 3 men identified as Nur Ibrahim Alaso, Najim Ali Abbey Mohammed and Abdurazak Mohammed Ali are of Somali origin but had Kenyan identity cards.
Ni punduki 8, zote ni aina ya AK-47, wale mnaweza ona, na iko na magazini zake 8, na kulikuwa na risasi 2004 yes. Na hizo punduki zingine ukiangalia kama hii nimeshika, hii inatumiwa na SNA. Sisi hatutumii. SNA ni ya Somalia, jeshi ya Somalia ndio wanatumia hizi punduki. Hii aina hii hatuna hapa Kenya, lakini kama hii ile imeshikwa na mwenzangu hapa na zingine zote tuko nazo Kenya. Hii SNA ni 2 ambao zimeshikwa. Walikuwa wameziweka nyuma ya hiyo gari na zote walikuwa wameconceal. Vile mnaona nimeshika hii, walikuwa wamefunika zote namna hii. Walikuwa wamefunika zote namna hii, wamefunga na hiyo shuka, zote zilitolewa na zimewekwa chini ya huko. Marisasi ambao nimesoma ni 2004, mnaziona hapo, zilikuwa zimewekwa kwa hizo containers, hiyo 5 liter containers. Zilikuwa zimewekwa ndani na zikafungiwa, ukawa uwezi jua kama marisasi. Hiyo ni petroli yao, walikuwa wamebeba jerikani 2 ya petroli. Nafikiri hizo jerikani 2 ilikuwa ya kuongezea magari zao mafuta.
Well, it's time to take another short commercial break, but we'll be back with more. Stay tuned.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. UIP Real Estate is here to end your search for land because we have the ideal land just for you. Land that's close to the most anticipated Silicon Valley in Africa, Konza City. A prime location that is convenient to the modern lifestyle and has ticked off all the boxes of basic amenities. Worried about the distance? Our prime land is only a property that is within the Konza locality of Mombasa Road, 1.2 kilometers from Konza Isinya bypass, and also 500 meters from the proposed Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway. With the under construction of JKIA Westland Superhighway, this will shorten the distance by 1 hour fastway in, out and away from all the hustle and bustle of Nairobi City, or should we call it Kanairo? What are you waiting for? Whether you are looking to buy and build or invest, book prime land with us now and be sure of high returns on your investment. Call us on 0708423244 or email us at info@uip.co.ke or visit our website www.uip.co.ke. UIP Real Estate, the home of affordable land. At Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, we offer highly competitive courses tailor-made to suit your needs. These include certificate and diploma in theatre technology, medical engineering, nutrition and dietetics, radiography and sonography, science lab, health records, environmental health science, counseling psychology, applied biology, social work and community development, information and communication technology, among others. Register now at our Nairobi campus in Nairobi West around Nyayo National Stadium on 0700-129536. Our Juja campus next to Jomo Kenyatta University on 0700-000760. And our Kisumu campus opposite Swan Center, Oginga Odinga Street on 0703-201229. Trisent School of Medical Health, Science and Technology, where careers come to life.
Je, maumivu ya kichwa na kukosesha amani? Kaluma Strong hutuliza maumivu ya kichwa, maumivu ya mwili na hata huondoa joto jingi mwilini. Kaluma Strong ina aspirin kama kiungo. Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight here on TV47. It was an unpredictable day for nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura. Just hours after the Registrar of Political Parties cut his ties with the party that nominated him to the Senate, the High Court has stayed his nomination for 15 days. Grace Josephine with the details.
Lady Justice Hedwig Ongundi has halted the removal of nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura from the Jubilee Party membership. In an amended notice of motion, the court has ruled a stay of execution of the impurged orders until the 15th of April 2021. This comes barely 24 hours after the Registrar of Political Parties, Ann Nderito, removed the expelled senator's name from the list of Jubilee Party members. In a letter addressed to the Jubilee Party Secretary General Raphael Tuju, the registrar said that the letter took the step pending the consent of the same by the party's National Executive Committee.
The matter is in the pocket.
Mwaura is among 6 senators: Mary Senator, Falhada Iman, Naomi Wago, Victor Prengei, Millicent Omanga and Christine Gona, who got expelled on grounds of disloyalty after they pledged allegiance to the United Democratic Alliance. UDA is associated with Deputy President William Ruto and drives the Hustler movement narrative. Even as expelled Jubilee members claim the party gave no tangible evidence against them, ODM, on the other hand, has remained tight-lipped over its members affiliated to UDA. They continue to dress in both ODM and UDA political outfits, depending on the occasion. Jubilee Party has taken a new direction in replacing the perceived rogue members. According to Tuju, those allied to other political parties and agendas will not receive any nomination. A majority of those who were next in the party list are allied to Deputy President William Ruto. Included in the list Jubilee submitted to IEBC in 2017 are UDA SG Veronica Maina, Caroline Daudi, Francisca Kamuren, Beatrice Gambo and Joyce Amasong. The law requires parties to present a list of nominees to the IEBC before each general election. The list is then used to pick nominated senators for the next 5 years until another general election is held. Grace Josephine, TV47.
Now, the incident of a drone that was flown at the Deputy President William Ruto's current residence on Sunday has attracted mixed reactions from the public and panic in the residence. According to Nairobi Region Police Commander Agustin Thumbi, Deputy President's wife Rachel Ruto reported the incident to the police immediately. Thumbi says investigations have begun to establish the motive behind the drone, as Joash Onsare now reports.
On Sunday, a stray drone was flown in Deputy President William Ruto's current residence, raising security concerns. DP Ruto's wife, Rachel Ruto, reported the matter to the police, who recovered the drone.
Hizo chombo kilistray kwake nyumbani, and it's a point of concern kuona drone ikiwa imeingia nyumbani kwako, na kwa hivyo I raise concern kwa police officers ambao walirush huko wakakunja wakapewa whatever the brief on what happened.
According to Nairobi Police Commander Agustin Thumbi, the drone belonged to the British national who has been identified as Hind Jeremy, who is a neighbor to the Deputy President. He has already been grilled over the incident.
I summoned the owner of the drone to come and explain whatever happened. And what he's trying to explain is that yesterday he had visitors, and the visitors are the ones who came with a drone. And the visitors themselves wanted to take pictures of his new house as a present to him.
Police are investigating the motive behind the stray drone in the Deputy President's residence, which is a protected area.
Our teams on the ground, that is our DCI officers, including of the ATPU and the NIS, going to look at the memory cards inside that device to see whatever it has, whether it has information that can also help in further investigations.
According to the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, KCAA, flying a drone is legal in Kenya, but one must comply with the drone regulations. To own and operate a drone, one must be a Kenyan citizen aged above 18 years. Operators must register their drone with the authority and be issued with a certificate of registration. All drone operations must be conducted under a specific operational category based on risk factors. A person shall not transfer ownership of a drone without the approval of the KCAA. To import a drone to the country, one will pay 3,000 shillings and register with KCAA for the same amount. To operate a drone in the Kenyan airspace, you will also be required to have a remote operator certificate, which will be issued at a cost of 80,000 shillings annually, and whose renewal will be done at 50,000 shillings. The KCAA received the approval to operationalize the new rules after they were approved by Transport CS James Masharia and under legal notice number 4 of 2021 on 22nd of January 2021, and license regulation took effect on the 15th of this month. Joash Onsare, TV 47.
Now, former U.S. President Barack Obama's granny, Mama Sarah Obama, was today laid to rest at her home in Kogalo, Siaya County, in accordance to the Islamic burial rites. Various leaders, led by Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Rachel Omamo, who conveyed President Uhuru Kenyatta's condolence message, attended the burial. Mama Sarah, who passed on Monday morning while undergoing treatment in Kisumu, was eulogized as a steadfast force in championing for education and the rights of the less fortunate. The matriarch passed on at the age of 99 and was buried next to her husband, Jaduong Barack Hussein Obama, who died in 1975. Three suspected gang members who were on a motorbike were gunned down near Waitavia Market, Kiambu County by police officers. Confirming the incident, Kiambu County Police Commander Ali Nuno said the suspect were on a mission to rob an M-Pesa shop in Waitavia. The gang, which was said to be on a police radar, was said to have been terrorizing Nairobi and Kiambu residents and believed to have shot a lady in Pangani yesterday. Two of the thugs are said to be from Nairobi's Dandora area and one from Waitavia. Police recovered a Siska pistol, 2 knives and 2 rounds of ammunition. The police boss said they are tracking other suspects who were in constant communication with the slain suspects. Waitavia residents lauded police officers for intercepting the gang, saying for close to a year now there have been no robbery cases in the area.
Our officers intercepted an intended robbery, which was supposed to take place at an M-Pesa shop within Waitavia by these 3 gang members who are believed from Dandora. 2 of them are from Dandora. One is from Waitavia. And they came to Waitavia with an intent to commit a robbery in a local M-Pesa. In fact, these are people whom we have been trailing for a while. They have been committing robberies in area of Waitedie, Juja Farm, Dondora, and Nairobi at large. Yesterday, part 1, this gang committed a robbery at the Bangani, where they shot a lady. They were to come to Waitedie to commit the robbery yesterday. Unfortunately, the man who was in possession of the firearm did not show up. So we have been tracking them. They have been on our radar. We have been monitoring all their communications, and that's how we intercepted.
Guru sana kwa hii serikali yetu ya Juja, kwa sababu baadhi Juja kunanga ukora, hata tujia mali wametoka. Unaona amekuja tu hivi ghafla siku ya leo, na tumekaa kama mwaka mmoja bila kuona wakora huku.
Now, 13 candidates have so far been cleared for the 18th May Bonchari by-elections by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. 5 contestants presented their nomination papers today at the IEBC office in Suneka Town in Bonchari. Among them is former legislators Mary Otara and Zebedeo Opore of Green Movement Party and Jubilee Party, respectively. The seat fell vacant on February the 15th this year following the demise of area member of Parliament John Oro Yoka, who succumbed to a long illness.
You know, even a woman carries a pregnancy for 9 months, and therefore the seat for Bonchari, it goes for 9 months to be completed.
And this has come because the former MP, who is now former because he's passed on, is no more. And I look forward to a peaceful election that has no incidences, and I hope people turn up to vote.
Just in this campaign is to represent the people of Bonchari in this almost 1.5 years remaining now, and I draw my experience from CDF. I've been running as a chairman of CDF for 5 years, 2013 to 2017. And I feel that I'm fit to represent the constituency because of the experience I had gathered in that office.
This is the time for the people of Bonchari to decide. And I know that they are going to decide. They are going to make history because they are looking for their own. They are looking for a candidate who will be able to identify with their needs and also put them on a greater platform of development for Bonchari.
Now, Tanzania will officially get a new vice president tomorrow after Parliament approved Finance Minister Dr. Philip Mpango to serve in that capacity.
A few hours after his nomination by President Samia Suluhu, he was approved by all the 363 MPs shortly after his name was presented to the Speaker of Parliament, Job Ndugai, earlier in the day.
Mheshimiwa Rais kwa mamlaka aliyopewa na katiba chini ya ibara 37(5) amempendekeza afuataye kuwa makamu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Na aliyependekezwa, nitasoma karatasi kama ilivyo. Ewa mko tayari? Mheshimiwa Rais anasema, Mheshimiwa Spika, nawasilisha bungeni jina la Mheshimiwa Philip Isidori Mpango kwa nafasi ya makamu wa rais wa...
The 63-year-old Philip Isidore Mpango, who has in the recent past denied the presence of COVID-19 in Tanzania, will be sworn in as the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania tomorrow, Wednesday, at State House Chamwino, Dodoma. Speaking in Parliament during his approval session, he said he will focus on improving Tanzania's economy.
Tanzania lazima iendelee kuishi. Lazima taifa letu liendelee kuongozwa na Watanzania. Na kazi yetu kubwa, ndugu zangu, waheshimiwa wabunge, ni moja tu. jambo muhimu sana tunaloweza kumtendea haki marehemu Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli ni kuishi ndoto yake.
Dr. Philip Mpango until today was the Minister for Finance and Planning since November 2015. He also worked as the head of the President's Economic Advisory Unit and senior economist for the World Bank. Daniel Masiza, TV47.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has this evening at State House in Nairobi assented to the Supplementary Appropriation Bill of 2021. The Supplementary Appropriation Act of 2021 approves the utilization of 125 billion shillings from the Consolidated Fund in the provision of public services in the current financial year. According to a statement, State House spokesperson Kande Zena, the supplementary budget was necessitated by COVID-19 related expenditures, settlement of pending bills, and the rationalization of the budget, among other urgent national needs. The loss making Kenya Airways has also caused the supplementary budget to grow by 23 billion shillings.